Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Yvette with Yvette's Junk Journal Shop, and in today's video we have another hashtag Yvette's JJ Q&A Sunday. So this is a place for me to answer questions that I commonly get on my channel about junk journaling, crafting, my life. I get all kinds of questions. Well, not all, but I get some. So each week I'm going to bring you 2 questions and answer those questions as best I can. So I don't use people's names when who gave the suggestion for the question. It's just I'll answer them and see where we go. So I got my notes here, and let's see. If you weren't a YouTuber making junk journals, what would you be doing? Okay, that's a good question. So I would probably be doing my other job, which I did prior to this. I have a full-time job working as an office manager and a color consultant for a house painting company. So prior to working there, I've been there about 6 years now. And prior to that, I sold paint in retail outlets. I spent 19 years working for Sherwin-Williams Company. And prior to that, I worked in a paint department at a lumber store and in a department store, or not a department store, what do you call those? I don't know. I don't want to say the name, but anyway, that's where I worked. And so I kind of fell into that. I was at work. I started out as a cashier, and I went to work one day and they said, hey, we're going to stick you over in electronics and paint. 2 things I know nothing about. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, I read a lot of labels on the paint cans. I became really good at selling paint. And in the first 2 months that I was in the department, I increased the paint sales by 400%. So I said, okay, we're going to put you in the paint department all the time. So I asked a lot of questions. I read a lot of labels, talked to a lot of painters. And so my friend worked at a lumber store. She said, hey, you should apply for a job here. We sell paint too. So I'm like, okay. So I applied for a job at the lumber store, got the job as a cashier. They said, oh, you used to sell paint at this other place? Well, we'll go ahead and put you in the paint department. So I became the head of the paint department in a lumber store, a very small lumber store. And then my husband and I came to the Oregon coast, and we decided to move here. And I started working for a company who was a lumber store. So I worked there and then was there for about a year. And the town that I live in got a Sherwin-Williams store. So I went over to actually buy paint for the building for the place I was working at, the lumber store. We were painting the outside of our building and they wanted metal paint. And I said, you don't have anything here that's metal paint, so I'm going to go over to the Sherwin-Williams. I ended up having an interview there. A painter that worked there, or that frequented there, he came over and said, hey, they want to interview you for a job. And I'm like, I already have a job. He's like, right, but you need to go where they appreciate you. So I went over, interviewed, got a job, worked there part-time. I also worked at a coffee house part-time during that time. And then I became a assistant manager. My manager was in the store for 14 years. And then he retired and I became the store manager for 4 years. And then I quit working for corporate America and I started working for a painting company. So the painting company I work for, like I said, I've been there 6 years, but I've known the owner of that company for, we were talking the other day, probably about 22 years. So we have a long time working relationship. We have a friendship, and now he's my boss. So it's been a fun little adventure, and that's probably what I'd be doing if I wasn't doing this on a part-time basis as well. So the next question I would like to answer, I'm turning the page here. Are there any artists that you follow for inspiration? So when I got this question, I started to write down a few of the channels that I wanted to mention so that I don't forget. I'm not going to mention everybody that I follow or watch frequently. I will mention those because I'm sure this question will come up later or again. And so when that happens, I'll answer it again with different responses. So I have it in my book here. So when I come across that question, I can add those channels so that I'm making sure I mention them. So one of the channels that I follow quite frequently is 49 Dragonflies. and I like that channel. I will link all of the channels I'm mentioning today in the description box below on this video. But I liked 49 Dragonfly's channel because it's inspiring and the tutorials are really easy to follow. So I like to watch that while I'm crafting. I watch most of these channels while I'm crafting, except for the last one, which I'll tell you when I watch that one. So the other channel that I watch quite frequently and who actually helped in me doing these question and answer videos is Carrie the Crafter. That's C-E-R-I, the Crafter. That's Carrie Griffiths. And he's been, I followed him for about a year now. And I usually watch all of his videos. I have the notifications set, so I get those and I watch those. He's always very well explained in his tutorials. And the thing I like about him a lot is he's very genuine. He's just Carrie, and that's how he comes across, and that's how I am. So I like that idea. And then he does some collabs from time to time, challenges, things like that. But I just enjoy watching his process. And then the other channel that I watch is my friend Linda. She lives here on the Oregon coast as well. And she has Linda's DIY by Design. Now, I came across her channel by accident. I didn't even know she had a channel. We do craft fairs together. One of them she runs, and I came across her channel by accident. And I thought, that lady sounds like Linda. So I went and looked, and sure enough, it's Linda. So she does, and I'm reading here because I took some notes from her channel, but she does budget-friendly DIY home decor with a rustic and farmhouse flair. She also shares some of her craft bazaar ideas, and she started something new on her channel, which is Thrift with Me, where she goes to antique fairs or secondhand stores, and she finds items that she's going to use in future videos on her channel for DIY home decor flips. She also does a lot of collaborations with other channels who are similar. So there are 2 questions for this video. Go ahead and check out the rest of the videos. I have a playlist of all of the question and answer videos. So thank you for watching today. You can check out my Facebook page under Yvette's Junk Journal Shop, and also my Ko-fi shop is under Yvette's Junk Journal Shop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.